California, 1987. A newborn baby girl is brought home from the hospital. Her name is Ronda Rousey. Her mother, Anne-Maria DeMars, is a judo world champion, the first American woman to win a world judo championship. As baby Ronda sleeps, Anne-Maria puts on a VHS tape, Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee's final film. "This is Bruce Lee," she whispers to her sleeping daughter. 14 years ago he died, but his philosophy lives on. One day, when you're old enough, you'll understand what he meant about being like water. 26 years later, Ronda Rousey becomes UFC champion, the most dominant female fighter in MMA history. And in every interview, she credits Bruce Lee as her inspiration. This isn't the story of Ronda fighting. Bruce died 14 years before Ronda was born. This is the documented story of how Bruce Lee's philosophy, passed down through films and teachings, influenced the most dominant female fighter of the 2010s. Ronda Rousey grows up watching Bruce Lee movies, studying his philosophy, applying his principles to judo and MMA. By 2012 to 2015, she becomes UFC Women's Bantamweight Champion, goes 12-0 with devastating armbar submissions, becomes highest paid fighter in UFC, breaks every barrier for women in combat sports. In interviews, Ronda constantly quotes Bruce Lee, credits his philosophy. This is the true documented story of how a legend who died in 1973 inspired a champion born in 1987. Ronda Rousey is born Riverside, California, February 1, 1987. Her mother, Anne-Maria DeMars, won World Judo Championship in 1984, first American woman to achieve this. Growing up, Ronda is surrounded by martial arts. Her mother teaches judo, emphasizes discipline, technique, mental toughness, but Ronda's introduction to martial arts philosophy comes through Bruce Lee films. Anne-Maria shows young Ronda Enter the Dragon, Fist of Fury, Way of the Dragon on VHS tapes. Ronda, age 8, watches Bruce Lee mesmerized. "Mom, how is he so fast? How does he move like that?" Anne-Maria explains, "Bruce Lee understood that martial arts is mental as much as physical. He studied philosophy, adapted techniques from many styles. He didn't just fight, he thought about fighting scientifically. This concept, martial arts as science." Constant adaptation plants seed in young Ronda's mind. Age 11, Ronda starts serious judo training. Natural talent combined with her mother's coaching makes her exceptional. By age 17, she's competing internationally. 2004. Age 17, Ronda qualifies for Olympics. Becomes youngest judo competitor at Athens Olympics. Doesn't medal but gains experience. 2008, age 21. Ronda wins bronze medal at Beijing Olympics, first American woman to win Olympic judo medal in 12 years. After 2008 Olympics, Ronda retires from judo. Financially struggling, working multiple jobs, unsure of future. 2010, age 23. Ronda discovers a mixed martial arts. Watches UFC fights. Sees possibility. This is what Bruce Lee talked about: combining styles, adapting techniques, being like water. Ronda tells her mother, "I want to try MMA. Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune, do philosophy, take what's useful from all martial arts. That's what MMA is." Anne-Maria skeptical. None A is brutal. And there's barely any opportunities for women. Ronda determined. Bruce Lee faced barriers as Asian man in Hollywood. I'll face barriers as woman in MAME. But Bruce showed that breaking barriers comes from being undeniably good. I'll be so good they can't ignore me. Ronda begins MMA training, adds boxing, Muay Thai, wrestling to her judo base. But her judo remains her foundation, particularly the armbar submission. 2011. Ronda goes 3-0 in amateur MMA, all wins by armbar. Turns professional, goes 4-0 in Strikeforce promotion. All first-round armbars. MMA world notices, a female. Judoka dominating with Olympic-level grappling, 2012. UFC World's biggest MMA promotion creates women's division specifically for Ronda Rousey. Dana White, UFC president, says, "We created this division because Ronda is that good. She's changing the game." February 2013. Ronda becomes first UFC women's bantamweight champion, defeats Liz Carmouche by armbar. First round. For next 2 years, Ronda is unstoppable. 12 fights. 12 wins, 11 by first round finish. Average fight time, 2 minutes. Her armbar is so effective opponents fear it but can't stop it. Ronda becomes highest paid fighter in UFC female. Breaks every barrier for women in combat sports. Proves women's MMA can be main event, can sell pay-per-views. Can be legitimate sport. In every interview, every press conference. Ronda quotes Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee said, "Be like water. That's my fighting philosophy, adapt to opponent. Flow into openings, don't force techniques that aren't there." Bruce Lee believed in cross-training before it was popular. That's Mama Jeet Kune Do applied to real fighting. Take what works, discard what doesn't. Bruce Lee faced discrimination trying to teach non-Chinese students, trying to break into Hollywood. "I face people saying women can't fight, women's MMA isn't real sport." Bruce showed the way, be so good they can't deny you. What makes Ronda's Bruce Lee influence authentic is how deeply she understands the philosophy. 1. Cross-training. Bruce advocated studying all styles. Ronda's MMA combines judo, boxing, wrestling, true mixed martial arts. 2. Adaptation. Bruce taught being like water, adapting to situation. Ronda adjusts tactics per opponent, but always flows to her strength. Opening parenthesis ARMBA, R closing parenthesis. 3. Mental game. Bruce emphasized mind over muscle. Ronda is famous for mental warfare, stare downs, trash talk, psychological dominance before fights even start. 4. Breaking barriers. Bruce fought racial barriers. Ronda fights gender barriers, proves women can be star attractions in combat sports. 5. Efficiency. Bruce believed in economy of motion. Ronda's armbars are perfectly efficient, minimal movement. Maximum effectiveness. Ronda doesn't just quote Bruce Lee for marketing, she studies his philosophy. Applies it systematically to her fighting and career. In 2015 ESPN interview, people ask why I keep mentioning Bruce Lee. Because his philosophy is literally my fighting strategy. Absorb what is useful. I took judo because it's useful for MMA. Reject what is useless. I don't waste energy on techniques that don't fit my body type or style. Add what is specifically your own. My armbar is mine, perfected for my specific biomechanics. That's pure Bruce Lee philosophy applied to real fighting. 2015, Ronda suffers first loss, Holly Holm knocks her out. 2016, loses again to Amanda Nunes, retires from MMA. 2016, age 29. With 12-2 record, but Ronda's legacy is permanent. She proved women's MMA could be mainstream. Opened doors for every female fighter who came after. Became cultural icon beyond sports. 2018-present. Ronda works in WE wrestling, acting. Commentary continues to reference Bruce Lee's influence. Other female fighters acknowledge Ronda's Bruce Lee-inspired approach influenced them. Amanda Nunes, Rose Namajunas, Zhang Weili all cite both Ronda and Bruce Lee as inspirations. Jean LaBelle, legendary martial artist who knew Bruce Lee and trained Ronda, says before his death, Ronda understood Bruce's philosophy better than many people who actually met Bruce. She applied Jeet Kune Do concepts to real fighting, mixing styles, constant adaptation, mental domination. Bruce would have loved watching Ronda fight. Ronda Rousey never met Bruce Lee, born 14 years after his death. But Bruce's philosophy, preserved in films and teachings, influenced her profoundly. She didn't fabricate connection to Bruce. She studied his philosophy genuinely, applied it authentically to her fighting, credited him openly. This is how legends inspire generations, not through personal connections, but through ideas that transcend time. California, 1987. A baby girl was brought home to a house filled with martial arts. Her mother showed her Bruce Lee films, taught her philosophy. That girl became judoka, then a pioneer. She quoted Bruce in every interview, applied his philosophy to every fight, became UFC champion, went 12-0, broke every barrier for women in combat sports. Never met Bruce, born 14 years too late, but carried his philosophy into octagon, proved be like water, works in real fighting. This is Ronda Rousey's true story, the champion who honored the dragon she never met.